All right, phone lines, 1-866-95-PATRIOTS. The official website of this radio program is WilkowMajority.com. Andrew McLaren is joining us in studio from literally right across the street over at NBC about the new program Stars Earn Stripes. I know your background is, obviously, you've been in the military, but for the audience, what's your background?
Right. I was in something called FAST Europe, Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Team. Basically, our job is to deploy to any embassy across the world that's attacked. This is my first duty station. I was in Rota, Spain. From there, we went all over Europe, and I went down to Liberia in 2003 during their civil war. I was there from June 02 to June 04. Then I went to something called the Anti-Terrorism Battalion in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and I went over to Iraq with that unit. And we trained the Iraqi army, and we provided a lot of PSD. Following that, I got hired as a cop in New York, but it was the year they cut the salary down to $26,000 a year.
Well, so, you can live on that in New York.
Yeah, exactly. They actually recommend you, go on welfare and get a roommate. I was like, screw that. I went back with Blackwater and made about 10 times the money. My principal, I was on Echo 6, and then it became Raven 6. We did PSD primarily for Vice Ambassador Specter in the Red Zone, and then I did a lot of CODEL missions, congressional delegate missions for senators, and even the president when he came on a surprise visit.
Were any of the people on there, did you have to pull any of these guys aside? Because I'm looking at the cast here. You've got, Terry Crews, he's a pretty big dude. You've got Nick Lachey, musician. You've got, Dean Cain, who's an actor. Did you have to say to any of these people during the show, look, I'm an actor too. I've been a model. You're going to have to suck this up and you're going to have to get rid of the model side of you and get down if you want to do this?
I would say this. The cast of the people were actually really excited to be there, and they were very patriotic and all for raising money for charity. So I will say that, yeah, definitely Todd Pelham definitely exceeded my expectations.
Now let me ask you about the women on the show. Peekaboo Street, Layla Ali, yeah. both athletes. Layla, a boxer.
Right.
I mean, if she's training for boxing, and I'm not downplaying being a skier, but boxing training's got to have you in tip-top shape.
Yes, tip-top shape, but, and also Eve Torres is on the show, and she's just absolutely stunning, and she's amazing. It's also shooting. I think a lot of people think that, oh, you're in great athletic shape, but you forget how much shooting is a part of this as well. So you can be the biggest guy in the world or the toughest woman in the world, but how are you with finesse? Because shooting is all about finesse and breathing and being relaxed.
I'm going to totally shill to be on one of these shows because I'm a 1911 guy, an M4 guy, a Mossberg guy. Who had to go from 0 to 60 very quickly on the firearms side? I would assume that Todd Pelham, being from Alaska, probably wasn't unfamiliar with guns. I see that you have FN scars here in the front page. Did you have to take them very quickly through firearm safety training, marksmanship?
Well, we only had one guy each, but it was kind of, this is what I can say. I'm not allowed to say specifics, but I will say that...
I don't want to ruin any of the episodes.
I'll say that the women are amazing shots.
See, now, I'm not surprised by that because guys... Right. We have watched way too many Rambo, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Commando. We were raised on those movies, right. But women will actually listen to you about accuracy because they don't have 20 to 25 right. years of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in the right. back of their heads.
And some of the women might not have shot before, so they don't have bad habits.
That's another one.
And you have, one of the things that I saw with the celebrities was, they'll slap the trigger because, it's all about what they see in the movies about getting the most rounds down range instead of actually having proper follow through and, slow, steady squeeze. So that's why I'll say that this is basically one of those things where it's not about the biggest guy necessarily winning. It's a lot of finesse. It's a lot of speed. So you might have somebody like Peekaboo Street, who you might look at and underestimate, but when you think about it, like, wow, she's an Olympic gold medalist skier. She knows about coming through in the clutch. You mean
in the real world, people don't have two side-by-side handguns where they outstretch both arms in two different directions and,
right.
and hit targets? That